Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Saturday, July 20th. This is Gina Palma. Today we will have no significant impacts to fire potential. We may see a few isolated thunderstorms in the high Sierra crest later this afternoon, but on Sunday we may see these thunderstorms push a little bit further east along the Sierra front, and again will mainly be isolated but will be on the drier side. On Monday, we see a better chance of drier thunderstorms over parts of western and northwest Nevada, starting later on Sunday and continuing possibly into the overnight hours, and also some very isolated thunderstorms on the drier side, potentially over the southern areas of the Great Basin. Over the last 24 hours, we only saw a few isolated thunderstorms across Utah. These lightning strikes in yellow over eastern Utah were in the last couple of hours this morning. Any precipitation we saw was very light, with only a few hundredths of an inch of precipitation reported. We've seen light initial attack across the Great Basin, and over the last 2 to 4 weeks we've seen precipitation mainly over the northern and eastern areas of the region. However, this is still well below normal for the time of year. Areas over the Arizona Strip into southwest Utah and over much of Nevada have seen little, if any, precipitation over the last month. Very dry conditions have also allowed fuels to rapidly dry out across the western half of the region. Looking at our current ERCs, you can see generally ERCs are between the 70th and 90th percentile across the Great Basin. The highest ERCs are across Utah into southern and eastern areas of Nevada, where ERCs are above the 80th or 90th percentile. 10-hour fuel moistures have been very low, continuing throughout the last couple of weeks and into the last month, especially across Nevada and Utah. Looking at our current ERC charts, you can see how the ERCs continue to rise across the Great Basin, and these two charts are fairly representative of all areas. However, areas over much of Nevada and then especially into Utah, ERCs have increased to above normal, and in some areas of Utah are near record levels for the time of year. This is mainly due to the fact that the monsoon has been significantly delayed, and the moisture we would be seeing long before now has not really occurred yet for long periods of time. Looking at our live fuel moisture, we continue to see the decrease across the Great Basin, and many areas are near normal, or in some areas dropping to just below normal, but most areas have dropped below the 125% critical percentile. Therefore, we will see sagebrush actively engaged when we do have fires and engaged in continuing to increase fire spread. The satellite loop from this morning shows a ridge of high pressure continuing to amplify across the desert southwest, and also a weak trough of low pressure in the Pacific Northwest. We have very little cloud cover across the Great Basin, but we do have some early morning showers and thunderstorms with moisture creeping north under that ridge over eastern Utah this morning, and we will see those thunderstorms fairly isolated but ongoing over the eastern areas of the Great Basin today. This moisture down south will start to move its way up into the Great Basin over the next couple of days, and we will see increased potential for initially dry thunderstorms and then increasing moisture as we go towards the middle of the week. Looking at the weather pattern for later today, again we will have those early morning showers and thunderstorms over eastern Utah, which will eventually start pushing eastward into Colorado, with generally dry conditions and light winds today across the Great Basin, with low to moderate fire potential. Relative humidity will remain in the single digits to low teens, with again light winds. We may see a few buildups or isolated thunderstorms in the high Sierra along the Sierra crest today, but most of the Great Basin will remain dry. As we move into Sunday, we have a little bit more moisture moving around the ridge of high pressure, which is centered over the Four Corners region, and this may allow for a better chance of isolated dry showers and thunderstorms, or dry thunderstorms with a few showers, along the Sierra front into far western Nevada. We have not issued any high risk for this yet. Right now, coverage is fairly isolated and tied to a very small area, but we will continue to monitor this, as we certainly could see some new fire starts from the lightning on Sunday. Relative humidity will remain in the single digits to low teens, and again the best chance for lightning on Sunday will be along the Sierra front into far northwest Nevada, and any thunderstorms we do see look to remain isolated but will be on the dry side. These thunderstorms may also continue into Sunday night, possibly, and then into Monday we have a better chance of thunderstorms developing over far southern areas and also over western and northern Nevada, possibly into southwest Idaho. Right now, we've just continued the high risk for dry lightning over southern areas of the Great Basin, but we will continue to monitor the increase in coverage potential over western and northern Nevada as we go into Monday. Relative humidity still remains in the teens across most regions, and again you can see where the showers and thunderstorms might be located on Monday, still watching that potential over western and northern Nevada, and again isolated thunderstorms possible, even though it's not depicted on this map, over far southern areas of the Great Basin. Any thunderstorms we do see will likely produce very little precipitation and very spotty, so you're not seeing a big increase in precipitation on the map. The heavier precipitation with thunderstorms will be located further south and east. As we go into the rest of next week, starting on Tuesday, we have some deeper moisture moving up across the Great Basin. We'll likely see an increase in thunderstorm coverage. These thunderstorms may start out dry, but may also transition to wet over parts of southern and eastern Nevada and western Utah. Just depends on how fast that moisture moves up. So we do have a fairly large area of high risk covering much of Nevada into western Utah and southwest Idaho for lightning on Tuesday, as again this increasing lightning coverage will be dry initially, and we've seen very hot and dry conditions across the Great Basin. On Wednesday, we see thunderstorms continue, and again more moisture moving up, so we'll likely see that transition to wetter thunderstorms occur by Wednesday across much of Utah into the Arizona Strip and southern Nevada. And we will be watching these northern fringes of thunderstorms, as that would be where any drier lightning might be, which would also be a little bit faster moving. As we move into Thursday, fairly similar pattern, maybe losing some of the deeper moisture, but still hanging on to scattered thunderstorms over the southern half of the Great Basin. And then moisture increases again on Friday. So this is certainly the start of more lightning across the Great Basin over the next week. So we'll certainly see new fire starts. And depending on how much dry lightning we see, we'll see the increase in the potential for large fires. The 7-day total precipitation is shown here. Again, very spotty with thunderstorms. It's hard to predict exactly where the heavier thunderstorms will be, but better chances will be from mid to late week as we see that deeper moisture move north over southern and eastern areas of the Great Basin. The 8 to 14-day outlook now shows above normal temperatures and above normal precipitation, as this really looks to be the start of the monsoon across southern and eastern areas of the region. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.